Today's personal training essential, or whatever the series is, I can't remember, is being able to talk to people. So it's a pretty obvious one, but I can't state this enough. It's probably the most important aspect outside of marketing, because you need marketing to get people in, for being a personal trainer. People will put up with shitty, I've seen it in gyms, like shitty PTs, like fat dudes who don't even know what the fuck they're doing, because they're really good listeners, or they're charismatic and happy and funny and they got good energy. The reality is, when a lot of people come to get trained, a lot of them just, I'm a bit sick at the moment, so I'm out of breath. Got hay fever too, it's a bad combo. A lot of people are coming just to talk to you. Like a lot of like 45-year-old males who don't really have many friends, for example, they just want someone to talk to. They've got like kids and a wife and no one fucking respects them or wants to listen to them talk, and it's like, part of why they come to you then is to be their armchair psychologist, to be the barber who you just yap to for an hour, while you actively also get in good shape. Like, don't get me wrong, you're still training these people, so they're gonna lose weight, they're gonna get more muscular, or they should, but at the same time, in between sets, they're gonna spend every waking moment telling you about a mundane day, and that's okay. Or whatever it is, maybe these people are interesting. Some clients I train, I'm like, these guys are actually really cool. I like talking to this guy. Some guys, they become my friends. That's a video for another topic a day though, is the friend personal trainer. But yeah, just be fucking really good at listening to people and you make so much fucking money because people just want to talk. And some of it you're not going to want to hear. I mean, I've had clients who just want to tell me about their gay sex life, and it's like, hurts my soul when I have to listen to certain things. Nowadays, I make enough money and have enough clients where I would just not train that person. But when you first start, that's what you got to deal with. And you have to know that that's what you're going to run into, and you're going to have to just fucking suck it up, princess, when some dude's telling you about a gay sauna experience where a guy died because he took too much Viagra before he went in there or some shit like that. You know what I mean? And then also, some people, they're a bit more introverted and they won't talk much, and you have to get the words out of them. So you have to be, inquisitive. You have to ask questions without prying too far and then get them talking. Some people are introverts and they'll actually enjoy the one-on-one because it's the only time they can actually even socialize very well. Or maybe some people, they don't want to talk too much, but they do like it when someone else talks. So you have to be happy and charismatic and be able to tell a good story, tell a sort of a funny scenario or whatever, or just talk about things in general and keep them interested when you talk. But it should be like an 80-20 rule. Listen 80% of the time, yes and the fuck out of what they're saying, be super interested in what they're saying. And then when you do talk, make it brief and interesting and funny. And that's a huge fucking, cornerstone of personal training. It's just being a really good friend, basically. That's what a lot of people are looking for, is a really good friend. This is why people pay $250 an hour for a fucking psychiatrist or a psychologist. The only real difference as a PT is, well, maybe you can't diagnose someone with schizophrenia or autism or something, but you can certainly listen to their problems. And whilst they're doing that, they have to just work out, which makes it slightly less tantalizing for them. Hence why people like psychologists a lot more than like personal trainers. But funnily enough, by having someone to listen to and getting, the biochemical increasements from training, a lot of people end up feeling a hell of a lot better after getting PTs. It's like a pseudo-psychologist. A lot of psychology is just having someone to listen to a lot of times, just telling people their problems. By the end of it, they feel really good. Psychiatrist doesn't, because they got all these fucking burdens in their brain. But yeah, you're like a cheap psychologist that makes people do squats. Think of it like that. Microphone's in the way. Yeah, people skills in general. I mean, what I just said was probably the basics of it. Listen 80% of the time, speak maybe 20% of the time. But then it's also read the person. You know, if you have a more serious person, probably don't do jokes. Everyone's a little different, right? I've got a client that loves to just constantly complain about everything in life. It's a tough one to train sometimes. And you just got to be like, you've got to like artificially sink to their level and do what they do and be like, oh yeah. And then I'll complain about some shit that I don't actually give a fuck about. But I'll be like, and these, I don't know, fuck it, I don't know. He'll talk about some political issue. And I'm like, oh yeah, and the immigrants in Germany and just ruining the country or whatever. Or, oh, why can't they, you know, imitate Japan and be more homogeneous, or yeah, I just fucking just say some shit where I like half agree, but I also just don't actually give a fuck, and I would never really actually communicate about any of this shit because it's just negative garbage. But that person, that's what they want. They're just looking for the complaining session. Other people, they want to be uplifted, and you give them a bunch of uplifting talk. And other people, they fucking love movies, and you talk to them about the movie you watched, or you ask, oh, have you seen this movie or whatever. Some clients want to tell you about their gay anal sex orgies in the sauna, and in that case, you just got to kind of laugh like awkwardly and be like, yeah, cool. But just read the room. It's very simple, and you just basically try to imitate the person. People fucking love people that are like them. If you can be like them, they'll love you. So maybe if they're talking about gay anal sex orgies in the sauna, don't be like them, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, try to be like people, like try to match what they're doing. People love compliments. I mean, compliment the fuck out of them, but modestly. Don't give them fake compliments. Give them an honest compliment. If they add 20 kilos to their squat, really, like it's a compliment, but just jive it up heaps and make them feel good about themselves. Tell them how they're the best client at that specific movement, even if they're not, or maybe they are, but it's not really a big deal, or whatever. Maybe they have a huge leverage advantage at deadlifts and therefore they're stronger at deadlifts than everyone else. You wouldn't then say the reason you're stronger at deadlifting is because your arms are 3 foot fucking longer than the next guy. You say, man, you're an incredible deadlifter, and just leave it at that. So be like them, match the tone of the conversation, yes and them, listen most of the time, and people will just be like, oh man. They'll come here with the idea of getting in shape, and then they'll stay with the idea of a conversation. And that's oftentimes. Another one that I've picked up is get a really cute dog. I've got an awesome dog. Fucking everyone loves my dog. They're always patting him. He's super needy too. So if you can teach your dog to be mad needy and you work from home, get a dog that just comes up and just constantly wants cuddles. And people, it's like an emotional support dog after the set of hectic deadlifts. You're just like, I want to fucking die. And then an adorable dog comes up and you pat him for 2 minutes until the next set. That's a really good psychological tactic. These little things, these little social cues. Fuck. There's definitely some good books out there. The basic ones, good one is like the red and blue pill kind of thing, where you got the 48 laws of power or the fuck. Didn't particularly like that one because I'm not as Machiavellian as a lot. I'm much more honest. Like, I'm pathologically honest about my shit. So, and that's my shtick, because I don't fuck around with clients. I don't, I don't like do really deceptive shit. I keep it as like overwhelmingly honest. Like, I'll tell them, for example, hey, the progress you're getting right now is really cool. In 3 months from now, it's going to be nowhere as good. And that's okay though, because that's just what happens when you get neurologically adapted to something. And they like that shit. They like the honesty. Or I tell them, we don't use a lot of different variations because I don't want to give you fake progressions through neurological adaptations. I'm not like other PTs. Whereas the 48 laws of power would be like, use as many fucking exercises as possible to fake adaptations so the client becomes gatekeeped and reliant on you, which is the video I made yesterday, essentially. Whereas then the blue pill version of that sort of self-help social skills book is the How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a really good one if you're more of a kind, light-hearted person. You're a bit more empathetic and apathetic than apathetic rather. Or maybe you're a little bit more sympathetic, empathetic, less sociopathic, a bit more neurotypical. If you're neurodivergent, you're a bit more sociopathic, a bit more morally compromised, then yeah, you might have a hard time being the good guy. You might need to take the bad guy route. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene might be a better option. But I would say the Dale Carnegie way is the better way generally. I think karma's a real thing. Another one is The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. You'd think that's more of a book for trying to get with the ladies or something, but not really. Everyone likes being seduced, even in a heterosexual way. There's a whole bunch of different ways of seducing someone. And for some PTs, it might literally be a romantic way. I've never done this, never will, but there are definitely PTs out there who cater to lonely 38-year-old women whose husbands are fat and ugly, and it's a fantasy for them to be with this 25-year-old fit PT or whatever, and they just hammer into that with The Art of Seduction, and they always keep that lady on the edge or whatever, but never quite go through with it, and that way they keep. But that's not a long-term strategy, and that's why I like the less Machiavellian way to create a more long-term, sustainable effort instead of a quick buck. But there's some good books. Those two specifically are really good, depending on your psychology. One thing I'd say is if you're an introvert, don't become a PT, you won't succeed. Only become a PT if you're extroverted. You'll be emotionally drained after 6 hours having to try and motivate and talk to people. You'll fucking quit. That's why 95% of them quit in the first 5 years. Well, part of why. The other one is inability to market. But, or if you are introverted, man the fuck up and understand introversion is a crutch. Yes, Carl Jung term the idea of introvert and extrovert because it's a general guideline that some people are a bit more spectrumed on extroversion or social ability, and others are a bit more introverted and can't socialize as well. But that isn't to say that if you don't, start forcing yourself into social situations, learn how to fight so you don't feel insecure, man the fuck up, all those different things, that you can't get out of those things. Jung never said that they're an absolute. You aren't an introvert for life permanently. It's like a fucking incurable disease. But know that if you are a real pussy and you can't get out of your introverted nature, then yeah, don't be a PT, you'll fucking fail. So you have to definitely be extroverted. What extroverted in nature helps. You can be introverted in nature and figure out how to be extroverted But anywho, that's just a side note. If you're an extrovert, it'll be easier. If you're introverted and you can't fix it, you're fucked. Wait, oh, that's right. I already did bicep. I forgot. I'm doing right side bicep curls once a week, left side bicep curls twice a week, because this one needs to catch up to this right. Although I know that lengthened bicep positions are better for hypertrophy. Obviously, I can't do that with the torn bicep because I just only feel bicep tendon. I actually, regardless of leverage advantages, it just feels so much better regardless. Like, it just feels nice getting that like squeeze at the top in the bicep. Sometimes optimal isn't as good as just doing what you enjoy more. And they all end up creating the same results, just maybe one's a little faster to give you that result. Doesn't mean that shortened bicep curls aren't going to give you results. It just might be slower, maybe. Might also not be. Studies can be misinterpreted. A lot of studies, they measure gains a few days after the study's finished, and it's like, cool, you didn't consider swelling or edema. So this now means fucking nothing. So who's to say that other studies that people are referencing don't have some unbeknownst metric that hasn't been considered that makes it bunk, like edema or swelling. When increasing volume by 4 times, of course, it's going to look like you have bigger gains. When you've been doing 4 times the amount of volume, you have significantly more muscle damage presence, which creates more swelling, which creates more muscle diameter. You measure your biceps as 1 inch fucking bigger, but it's just swollen, as opposed to doing the high intensity route where you won't get the swelling, but you'll get pure myofibrillar addition. Another thing to learn, and this will be a topic of its own, but learning psychology helps too. Again, if you become an armchair psychologist, it's good to have a little bit of psychological tactics. Don't overstep your fucking, scope of practice by being like, yeah, I think you have schizophrenia, dude. But being, understanding of people's psychology can help significantly in order to, for lack of a better word, manipulate them for their better, not detriment, their for the better, right? If you can manipulate someone into working out, I wouldn't say that that's a negative manipulation. You know what I mean? If they're 150 kilos and obese and haven't got many years left, if they keep being a fat piece of shit, and you manipulate them into exercising through psychological tactics, which is what psychologists do, by the way, they manipulate your brain so that you can get better, then fucking so be it. Manipulation is the wrong word here, but fuck it, I'll use it. Fuck. Yeah, see, I can actually feel that in my bicep when I do it in the shortened position. With my bicep tear, if I do lengthened position bicep curls, it's all just tendon, and I don't know, I feel very good. All right, I got no more time. I'm gonna finish off the rest of my workout. Well, I think I gotta do shrugs. I'll do that later after my next client. Anyway, be more social. Learn some psychology books, go to church, go to different social scenarios so you can just get your social reps in, get really good at talking to people. Because if all you're relying on is your clients to get good at socializing, then it's not enough reps, especially when you first start and you don't have that many clients. Anyway, peace out, bye.